want you to picture driving down the highway, right? You're going 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, white-knuckling the steering wheel.
Exactly. You are gripping that wheel. You're trying to navigate through this incredibly heavy traffic. And suddenly, someone in the next lane just rolls down their window.
Oh, my God.
And they just aggressively chuck a paper business card right at your windshield.
Yeah, just out of nowhere.
It bounces off, and they just speed away. I mean, that is essentially what it feels like for a high-end wedding planner when they open their inbox on, like, a random Tuesday morning.
It really is. It's a perfect way to describe it.
Because they are navigating just immense stress.
Right.
And vendors are they're throwing these digital business cards at them, begging for a moment of their time.
Yeah, just adding to the pile.
Exactly. It's this massive, frustrating bottleneck for anyone trying to grow a business in the wedding industry. Like, you have an incredible service.
Right.
But how do you actually get a busy planner to just stop, look at you, and realize you are the partner they desperately need?
It is a phenomenal challenge, honestly, because traditional cold outreach, it completely ignores the reality of a planner's environment.
Totally.
The direct message saying, hi, I'm a photographer, please hire me, it just bounces right off the armor.
Because they don't have the time.
Exactly.
Mm.
They are actively putting out fires all day. They do not have the bandwidth to entertain a vendor who is just adding another task to their overflowing plate.
Which is exactly why our mission for this deep dive is to unpack a completely different strategy. We are looking at a stack of industry research and data today that points to one massive growth engine, which is B2B lead magnets.
Yeah, this is where the magic happens.
Right. So we are going to explore what these actually look like in the real world, the specific psychological levers they pull, the traps that will just instantly tank your credibility.
And there are a lot of those traps.
Oh, so many. And then finally, how platforms like Weddizer can take these resources and turn them into an automated discovery machine.
It's a game changer.
It really is. Okay, let's unpack this, because if you want to understand why this works, we really have to look at the cognitive load of a wedding planner. We have to understand why that cold email is actually a net negative for your brand.
Yeah, it's a net negative because it starts the entire relationship with a demand.
Right, an ask.
Exactly. You are asking for their time to read the email.
Yeah.
You're asking for their mental energy to process your portfolio. And this is the big one, asking for their trust before you have earned a single drop of it.
You haven't proven anything yet.
Right. The psychology of a B2B lead magnet completely flips that dynamic.
Yeah.
You are changing the initial interaction from a demand to a deposit.
A deposit. I love that. It's like the difference between throwing that business card at their windshield versus, I don't know, standing on the side of the road and handing them an umbrella when it starts pouring rain.
Yes, that's exactly it.
You are solving their immediate environmental problem first. So in this specific context, you're offering a free, highly practical resource to this other business, the planner, in exchange for their contact information or simply their focused engagement.
And what's fascinating here is how that simple mechanism just completely bypasses their usual defenses.
Right, because their guard is down.
Exactly. If we connect this to the bigger picture, planners suffer from extreme decision fatigue. I mean, they make thousands of micro decisions every single week.
It's exhausting just thinking about it.
It really is. So when you offer a tool that removes a decision, or maybe streamlines a clunky process, you trigger the psychological principle of reciprocity.
Okay, break that down for us.
Sure, so you gave them something valuable for free, right? So they naturally feel this subconscious inclination to engage with you. It builds immediate trust.
Because you're proving you get it.
Yes. You are proving, rather than just claiming, that you understand the mechanics of their daily headaches.
Okay, I want to pause on that for a second because it sounds great in theory, but I have actually tried a version of this before and it completely backfired.
Oh, really? What happened?
Yeah, so a few years ago, I thought, hey, I'll just send them my proprietary pricing sheet as a free download.
Huh. I see where this is going.
Right. I thought I was being so transparent and helpful, but they just downloaded it, used it to price match with a cheaper competitor, and I literally never heard from them again.
Yeah, that hurts.
It did. So how is a true B2B lead magnet different from just, giving away your brochure or your pricing?
That is a brilliant distinction to make, because a pricing sheet is still fundamentally about you.
Oh, right.
It tells them how much you cost, what you do. A true B2B lead magnet is about them.
Okay.
It has to solve a systemic problem in their workflow, independent of whether they hire you today or not. You want to give them something they will return to over and over again.
Something genuinely useful.
Exactly. And the research we are analyzing today actually highlights several distinct categories of resources that accomplish this.
Let's get into the actual arsenal then. Because planners are constantly reinventing the wheel with their administrative documents, right?
Oh, constantly. Every new client feels like starting from scratch.
Yeah, so the lowest hanging fruit here seems to be structural tools, things that just give them their time back.
Absolutely. So category 1 is free templates. Think about the sheer volume of formatting that goes into a planner's day.
Too much.
Way too much. So if you provide a pristine, highly functional template, like maybe a master vendor coordination spreadsheet, or an auto-calculating budget tracker.
Oh, an auto-calculating tracker is huge.
Right. You are handing them 3 hours of their life back.
Yeah.
Because they do not want to sit there and format cells in Excel.
Nobody does. I can just vividly imagine the sigh of relief from a planner finding a clean, functional spreadsheet where the pivot tables actually work.
Yes, a plug-and-play solution.
Exactly. They plug and play. And right at the top of that spreadsheet, sitting there quietly while they work, is your logo.
Yep, building that brand equity.
Your brand is instantly associated with efficiency. But, and this is but it has to actually work, right? Like, if your budget spreadsheet still uses Times New Roman and doesn't auto-calculate the sales tax for catering.
Oh, that's the worst.
Right. A high-end planner will instantly assume your actual wedding services are equally dated and clunky.
That is the exact risk.
Yeah.
The utility of the tool has to match the aesthetic and quality of your brand.
Makes sense.
And that concept flows right into another incredibly effective category, which is structured checklists and planning guides.
Category 2.
Right. Planners are inherently managing chaos. They love anything that distills complex multi-step processes into simple binary actions, done or not done.
Right, so something like a wedding day emergency kit master checklist.
Perfect example.
Or a client onboarding sequence. Like, if I am a vendor and I am organized enough to hand a planner this comprehensive 50-point emergency checklist that includes things they might have totally forgotten.
Like what?
Like clear nail polish for dress snags, or a really specific type of super glue for floral foam.
Oh, that's good. That shows real experience.
Exactly. I am proving my competence.
Yeah.
If I care that much about the emergency kit, they are going to inherently trust that I will show up on time and do my actual job flawlessly.
You are signaling deep operational competence, which is priceless.
Oh.
Now, those first two concepts are very tactical. But there is another approach entirely, which is our third category. Ebooks and industry insights.
Okay, so this is about positioning yourself as a macro thinker.
Precisely. You're proving you don't just operate within the wedding industry, but you actually observe it. You analyze where it's going.
Right. So say I'm a luxury lighting designer, for instance.
Okay.
I might release an annual report on the top trends in immersive reception lighting.
That is a fantastic idea because you are showing the planner that you understand the broader landscape. You are giving them ammunition that they can use to sell better, higher-end concepts to their own high-net-worth couples.
Right. They can take my report to their client and look like a genius.
Exactly. Now, the fourth category is exclusive vendor tools. This is where it gets really interactive.
It's like software.
Yeah, things like seating arrangement planners, cost calculators, venue comparison matrices. Interactive tools really boost engagement because the planner has to actively use them.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, and I am going to push back on this a bit.
Go for it.
Let's say I go all out. I build an incredible interactive seating arrangement software tool, right? Or an amazing guide on how to choose the perfect vendors.
Okay.
If I give a planner my absolute best tools, my secret sauce, aren't I basically doing their job for them? Like, why wouldn't they just take my seating chart logic and run the wedding without me?
I hear that fear constantly. I really do. But it relies on a fundamental misunderstanding of what the planner is actually buying.
Right. Okay, tell me why I'm wrong.
You are confusing the map with the journey. Giving someone a highly advanced seating arrangement software doesn't mean they suddenly possess 200 physical Chiavari chairs.
Right.
And it certainly doesn't mean they have the staff to load those chairs into a ballroom at 2:20 a.m.
Okay, fair. So they have the floor plan, but they still have an empty room.
Exactly. You haven't replaced yourself. You have simply eliminated the friction of figuring out if your chairs even fit in their specific venue. You're demonstrating your value.
You're proving that you're a vendor who actively removes roadblocks.
Right. A planner is not going to steal your seating chart tool and then go hire a more difficult vendor to bring the actual chairs. People hire the vendors who make their lives easier.
That makes a lot of sense. The tool is just the vehicle for the relationship, and it's a much deeper engagement. Like if they're inputting data into a cost calculator you built, they are spending significant time with your brand.
Exactly. But let's look at the opposite end of the spectrum for our fifth category.
Right, the instant downloads.
Yes. Because what about the planner who doesn't have time to read a trend report or input data into a calculator?
The one who is panicking at 11:10 p.m. the night before a client presentation.
Exactly. That requires a completely different mechanism. That is where you leverage the psychology of instant relief.
Instant gratification.
Yes. If you can provide resources that offer immediate plug-and-play gratification, your conversion rates will skyrocket.
So we are talking about things like editable design mockups, printable mood board frameworks, or even precise social media templates.
Those are huge right now.
I bet. Imagine being a planner struggling to string together a cohesive Instagram aesthetic, and a local wedding photographer just offers a pack of beautiful, editable templates tailored specifically for planners.
Oh, you would love that photographer forever.
He would. I would book them immediately.
You would, because they solved an immediate pain point that was keeping you awake at night. But this raises an important question.
Okay, what is it?
Creating the concept, whether it's an emergency checklist or an interactive calculator, is only the starting line.
Yeah.
The execution phase is where most vendors completely sabotage their own efforts.
Oh, I see this all the time. A vendor spends 2 weeks building this beautiful digital asset, they put it up on their website, and it just collects digital dust.
Yep. Nobody downloads it.
Or worse, people download it and never speak to the vendor again. So how do you ensure the tool actually converts a stranger into a lucrative B2B partnership?
The methodology here is very clear, and it requires ruthless honesty about the value of your asset. First, it must solve a real problem.
Real value, not just fluff.
Exactly. It cannot just be fluff disguised as a tool. If you ask for a planner's contact information in exchange for, say, a 2-page PDF that basically just says, make sure you book a good florist, you have actually damaged your brand.
Oh, completely. You've created a negative interaction.
Right. You essentially bait and switched them.
They paid for the resource with their email address, and you gave them garbage in return. The research we're reviewing is adamant that the resource has to have real meat on the bone. But paradoxically, it also says you cannot overcomplicate it.
Right. There's a very delicate balance between comprehensive and accessible.
Because if a planner has to jump through 5 different browser windows...
Oh, or fill out a 12-field questionnaire just to get the thing.
Yes, and then confirm their email 3 times just to get a timeline template, they will abandon the process entirely. Cognitive load, remember. You are supposed to be reducing it, not adding to it.
Exactly. Keep it simple. And the alignment has to be there, too.
What do you mean by alignment?
Well, if you are a high-end luxury wedding videographer who charges $20,000 a pop, and you give away a checklist titled How to Execute a DIY Backyard Wedding on a Shoestring Budget, you are shooting yourself in the foot.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is a total mismatch.
Because the leads you attract with that specific magnet will be entirely irrelevant to your actual business model. Your magnet needs to act as a highly specific filter, attracting the exact kind of planner who books your exact kind of service.
Okay, so let's say you nail the alignment. You are a luxury vendor. You build a sleek, highly functional budgeting tool for luxury planners. The design is gorgeous. It works perfectly. But the campaign still fails. What is the trap here?
The traps are mostly operational at this stage. We already touched on the design trap. If it looks like it was built on a word processor in 1995, they will assume your design skills are equally antiquated.
True, but what's the fatal flaw?
The most crucial failure point, the one that completely defeats the purpose of the entire exercise, is the follow-up trap.
Oh, this drives me crazy.
It's so common.
You went through all the trouble to get the planner to stop scrolling. You offered the umbrella in the rain. They took it. They gave you their direct contact info. And then crickets.
Nothing.
You just walk away.
If you do not have a mapped-out follow-up sequence, you are not running a B2B marketing campaign. You're just running a charity that hands out free PDFs.
That is painfully accurate. So what does the anatomy of a good follow-up actually look like? It can't just be an immediate pitch, right?
No, absolutely not. It has to be a nurtured sequence.
Yeah.
Day 1, you deliver the asset and simply say, here is the tool. I hope it saves you some time this week. You ask for nothing.
Right, zero pressure.
Exactly. Then say day 3, you check in on the utility. Did you have a chance to try the pivot table feature? I found it really helps with catering estimates.
Oh, I like that. You are proving you actually care about their success with the tool.
Right. It is only on day 7 or 10 that you pivot to the relationship. You might say, since you focus on the same caliber of events we do, I would love to grab a quick coffee and hear about your upcoming season.
That is brilliant. It feels completely natural, totally non-transactional.
Exactly.
But all of this, the perfect tool, the seamless design, the flawless email sequence, I mean, none of it matters if we don't address the elephant in the room. Distribution.
Yes. The biggest hurdle.
What good is this incredible machine if nobody ever visits the landing page?
This is where we shift from creation to amplification. You have built the perfect resource, but throwing it out into the vast, noisy void of the general internet and hoping a stressed wedding planner happens to stumble across it, that is not a strategy. It's a lottery ticket.
It really is. So the data suggests there are a few standard ways to combat the void. You can leverage your existing social media, obviously.
Sure, sharing little snippets or screen recordings of how the tool works.
Right. Or maybe posting testimonials from a planner who used your budget sheet and saved 3 hours.
Social proof is great. Search engine optimization is also a massive factor here. When planners hit a wall, they turn to search engines.
Right.
If you understand how to structure your landing page, you can intercept them right at their moment of frustration.
So we are talking about long-tail keywords here. Planners aren't just searching the word weddings. At 2 a.m., they are aggressively typing in things like free vendor comparison spreadsheet or wedding day timeline template for difficult venues.
Or B2B lead magnets for vendor partnerships.
Exactly. If your page is optimized for those specific high-intent phrases, you show up as the answer.
But SEO takes time, and social media algorithms are notoriously unpredictable.
Tell me about it.
Which is why the most compelling data point we are looking at today involves bypassing the open internet entirely and using a closed ecosystem, specifically platforms like Weddizer.
I am so glad we are landing here because trying to manipulate Google's algorithm feels like a full-time job.
Yeah.
How does a dedicated platform like Weddizer actually change the distribution game?
Well, it addresses the discovery friction directly. Weddizer is an ecosystem custom-built to connect vendors with planners.
Okay.
So instead of trying to shout over the noise of the entire internet, you are placing your resource directly inside a room where everyone is already looking for exactly what you have.
It's like the difference between standing on a street corner handing out flyers to random tourists versus setting up a booth at an exclusive industry-only trade show where you know 100% of the attendees are your ideal clients.
That is the perfect analogy. When you strategically showcase your lead magnets on Weddizer, you are putting them in front of a highly targeted, highly motivated audience.
Right, because the platform is inherently designed for B2B networking within the wedding space. Planners log on to Weddizer specifically to find reliable vendor connections and practical industry resources.
Exactly. And there's a borrowed credibility factor there, too.
What do you mean by that?
Well, if I host my interactive cost calculator on my own random website, a planner might be skeptical of downloading it. Is it safe? Is it spam?
Oh, true.
But if they find that same tool featured on Weddizer within a professional network they already trust, the perceived value goes up instantly.
That is the core philosophy of effective distribution. You want to leverage platforms that naturally amplify your specific type of content to your exact target demographic.
Precisely. Using Weddizer ensures your resources do not just exist in a vacuum. They get actively discovered by the people who actually have the power to book you. Because existence without discovery is just wasted effort.
It's totally pointless. So what does this all mean? Let's bring all these threads together. If you are a vendor who is exhausted by the daily grind of sending cold emails that get universally ignored, you have to change your posture.
Oh, you really do.
You have to stop demanding and start depositing. By taking the time to build well-designed, highly practical resources, whether that is an automated budget template, a comprehensive emergency checklist, or an interactive seating tool, you instantly position yourself as an authority, not a nuisance.
A problem solver.
Right. You solve a very real, very painful problem for a busy wedding planner. You earn their trust, you capture their contact information, and you execute a thoughtful follow-up. And when you combine that irresistible resource with a strategic distribution plan, especially by utilizing a targeted platform like Weddizer, you completely remove the friction of discovery.
It's a powerful combination.
It is.
Wow.
That is how you stop throwing business cards at windshields and start building incredibly lucrative long-term B2B partnerships.
It is a profound shift in how you view your role in the industry. You are no longer just a service provider. You are an essential operational partner.
Beautifully said.
And to really cement this concept, I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over.
Okay, let's hear it.
I want you to sit down today and think about the absolute biggest, most annoying, pull your hair out headache a wedding planner faces the week of a major event. If you could build a free digital tool that completely eliminates that specific headache, you wouldn't just be another vendor anymore.
No, you wouldn't.
You would be their savior.
Yeah.
What does that tool look like for your specific niche, and what is stopping you from building it this afternoon?
That is the exact question you need to be asking yourself if you want to break out of the cold outreach cycle. You have to bring genuine value to the table before you ever ask for a seat. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Now get out there, figure out what those planners are desperate for, and start building the tools that will make your business indispensable